the people in the house. Peace to all my we the people in the house. How y'all doing out there? Gather in, gather in, gather in all my people. What we got for you today is 178 ways to status correction. Do you have your pen? Do you have your paper? Because we about to drop this on status correction. 178 tips on status correction. Gather in all my people, gather in. So before the storm, or let's send that storm back out to sea, we gonna get our status correction tips so that we can go and get on the road to the treasury. Follow the yellow brick road. That's what we gonna do, my people. We gonna follow the yellow brick road. So UCC, this is on the benefits of status correction, okay? So security agreement between the debtor and the secured party. They say that your UCC acknowledgement should be sent to who is the debtor. Okay? Now, a UCC is a public record, my people. A UCC is a public record. Now, you can give yourself you can give your business a loan, and then in a couple of months go back in and file a UCC, and it will be paid off with a UCC3. Now, you have to study UCC in your state because the UCC governs commercial transactions. So, UCC Article 9, UCC 1 through Article 9. Peace. So, we got equity rules on the state level. That's number 6. We have number 7, which is the security agreement between the debtor and the trust. Number 8 is rules in the Indenture Trustee Act. So you would go pull the Indenture Trustee Act. Number 9, securities and bonds. So you get 80% and the bank would get 20%. But if you want to sweeten the deal, you can give the bank more of your percentage. So, number 10, bank is the custodian if you have not fully status corrected. And the bank will also act as the custodian and the beneficiary. That is why they take your wealth, because you haven't fully status corrected. So the trustee is also the bank. The co-trustee would be you if you sign a security agreement with the bank when you open up your trust with the bank. The security agreement must be signed then, only in the opening. But after the opening, the bank won't do it. Now, number 11, my trust is different from the bank. Number 12, you must be on the record. So Status correction tip number 12 is that you have to file all your status correction in the IRS. And if you need help with that, call us up 407 300 5377. It's a $25 consultation for 25 minutes. Okay, if you have a trust, you must set your trust up in the IRS correctly, you as the trustee with a trust agreement, and it must be sent in to the IRS. So, you got all your forms there. Form 56, F56, 2848. You got a whole bunch of other forms that you're going to have to fill out that nobody knows about. Number 13, deeds.com. Deeds.com has all the forms that you need to go into the county clerk, because you have to fill out the county clerk's forms to put your trust on file. Number 14, certificate of trust and signature page of the trust, which can be certified if you would like to certify, but it must be notarized and authenticated at the county and at the state. Number 15, recoup your credits. Have a UCC on file online that you are the secured party, especially if you're doing taxes, because the IRS will go and check for a UCC if you're claiming millions of dollars on a tax return. You have to prove it. No proof, don't even try to claim it. Number 16, revocable trust is the beneficiary of anything that you're doing. Number 17, 2848 takes away the company's and the bank's power. So you must put a 2848 in the IRS, showing who is the responsible party. Number 18, secured party is always you on a UCC1. Number 19, do a UCC on your Treasury Direct. Do a UC. Well, they say you can't do a Treasury Direct, but if you add all this into your Schedule A that's in your trust, then if you filed your trust, then it would already be on file. But you do a UCC on all your bank accounts, on all your contracts that you have done with any of the corporations, all the applications that you filled out with any corporation, you do a UCC1 on, because you have the trust has security interest in those contracts over the straw man or over the ens legis. Now, number that was 19, that was 20, 21, 22, 23. Well, we're up to number 20, people. Security agree at the opening. I just told you that you must file the security agreement upon the opening of the bank account with the people that you're opening the bank account with, the bank. You have to sit down and have your security agreement right there at the opening of the bank account. 21, 1099B barter, 1099 OID, 1099A. If you're canceling out debt, 1099C. But you have to be status corrected to use those forms. Number 22, the bank is still the custodian and they can close your account. So if you doing anything out of the ordinary with the bank account, The bank has the right, because they're the custodian and the beneficiary, to shut your bank account down, because it's not even your bank account if you have no security agreement with them from the opening of the bank account. The bank, and what, you know, you have to status correct before you even open up these bank accounts. And if you already have your bank account open, then you need to retitle the bank account under the name of the trust. But if you retitle the bank account under the name of the trust, a trust account, to fund to start the trust account in any of these banks, it starts off at 2,500 all the way up to $5,000 to open up a trust bank account. Are you ready for that yet? 23, UCC, and then there's a UCCC. So there's a UCC and then there's a UCCC, a consumer UCC. Now, number 24, use NCIS to report to get your passport. So if you did an NCIS with FOIA, you can use your NCIS document that comes back from FOIA to get your passport card instead of using your birth certificate. 25, use your passport for tax exempt, which is the passport card. So you have to figure that one out yourself. 26, file UCC on all your bank accounts with the account number, then send a demand letter. Okay, and then you can file that in business court or the circuit court so that you can get back your money. If you don't do it through a tax return, you may have to take them to court. 27, UCC1. So you can use a UCC11 to see if you have any liens on you. Number 28, file a UCC on anybody, any and everybody that is a corporation that you're doing business with. You have to lien them. Number 29, create your irrevocable trust. You know, that's a non-interest bearing trust. Anything irrevocable is a non-bearing interest account. So, number 30, like we just said, your tax exempt passport, you know, the tax exempt number, you have to look for it on your passport card. Number 31, 20 USC 3002. Look that up for yourself. Number 32, In God We Trust, is passport card. So, In God We Trust is the passport card. A driver's license under the state is public. Okay, number 33. Number 34, you may want to get a dual passport. Number 35, you are create yourself as a corporation, a corporation that is unincorporated. Number 36, some people go as far to, sign themselves up with SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, so that they can trade their own, trade securities. Number 37, the state is your mother and the feds is your father if you have not status corrected yet. Number 38, you need an agent to go to the securities, to trade your securities. You cannot trade your securities because you have to have a Security Exchange Commission um, access. Number 39, file a UCC lien on all the companies that issue you paperwork. Number 40, involuntary bankruptcy on companies, equity and business court. Number 41, non UCC on the birth certificate. File a non UCC on your birth certificate. Number 42, trust. UCC addendum, put all of the names. It's an agricultural lien and it's a public finance for 25 years, I think that thing is, but it's a public finance. Number 43, Minnesota Rule 220. You can either file it in your state or you can file it in Minnesota directly in the Congressional Record Library. So if you file it in the Congressional Library, it's directly into the records. Then in 100 days, within that 100 days, it trickles down to your state. Whatever state you live in, that same Minnesota Rule 220 will go into your state and they'll file it under the state. So when you put your Minnesota Rule 220 on the record and then you send your birth certificate into Minnesota Treasury Direct to retire the birth certificate, it settles a lot of debt. And if you send your birth certificate and everything you've done into Puerto Rico, because Puerto Rico is where you have to get your collateral released. Number 44, 2848, Form 56, 2848, Form 56F. For number 45, you don't need to sign up with the SEC when you know how to move your paperwork. You let them trade your securities for you and let them do their job because that's what they're supposed to be doing. Number 46, open up any account, file a UCC immediately, lien and enforce. Whenever you open up an account, immediately file a UCC on it, lien and enforce it. Number 47, number 48, family court is a court of equity. Number 49, lockbox is the P.O. box from bank to bank. So you want to have a P.O. box. Number 50, coupon sign on the back. Pay to the order of whatever company you're paying. So you have to flip the coupon over and sign it on the back when paying the corporations. That's how they can accept it. You don't put it on the front of the document. 51, send the coupon back to the lockbox of the corporation or the company to pay off whatever debt it is that you're paying off. And you send it. You could either send it registered mail. You can send it certified mail return receipt, registered mail return receipt. 52, lien and enforce. 53, full banking terms on your security agreement. So when you're doing your security agreement, you have to have the full banking terms. Peace to all my people out there. Marcus, peace. Malika, more peace. Peace to all my people. Peace to XFB, JHJB. Peace. Number 54. Everything is not statutory. There are two systems. So remember that one. Number 55. Court equals bank. 56. Ebook. Recording your status. You must record your status on the record. Number 57. Minor equals ward. State. The state administers your estate until you rebut the record. So, number 58. Dishonor equals you not putting a claim to your security. So you think they're in dishonor, but they may not be in dishonor because you have never put a claim on your security. Have you claimed your mortgage deed down at the county after you bought the house? Did you claim the car, the vehicle down at the county after you bought it? You can put your promissory notes into the land record down at the county court. 59, for all those that need a fins and gins number. Number 60, we gave them the security by giving our security rights away. Number 61, so they can't not sell the securities on the secondary market. That's where these corporations are guilty, when they sell your security on the secondary market. Number 62, ain't nobody going to jail for operating your own company. Okay, because it's everything is a taxable event. Number 63, public private department of currency. Okay, number 64, a 10-cent stamp pays the taxes. Check your UPC code and your UPC treaty. Number 65, silver certificates from eBay, y'all. Okay, silver certificates, gold certificates on eBay or wherever you can find them online. Number 66, put a claim on the record so they can go bankrupt until they pay you. The claim is on the UCC. The claim is on the 1099B. The claim is on the 1099 OID. The claim is on the 1099A. The claim is on the 1099C. You have to put a claim in. The claim is down at probate court. The claim is all the way at the Supreme Court. Number 67. Number 69. Dealership and the car dealer bond. Go check that out for yourself. Number 70. Number 71. How do you get rid of a court case, my people? You can 2848 it, Form 56 it, UCC it. That's how you get rid of a court case, my people. Number 72. Exempt up to $13 million on your trust tax filings. So if you're filing your taxes and it's on your 1041 trust, you have a 13 million exempt up to $13 million. So you got to learn how to file your taxes. Number 73, corporation and living being. Okay? The corporation and the living being. Sleep is when you're spiritual, and okay. So when you sleep, you're spiritual, people. When the eyes open up, you're back into this corporation. You're back in the matrix. Public, UCC lean, perfect the lean. Number 74, learn their job. Learn what the corps do, because that's what you do when you become fully status corrected within the IRS to take over the account and be the executor the proper way. And it starts within the IRS, because that is the accounting department for the entire world of the central banking system. Number 75, score equals credit report, underwriter, personal side. Okay. Number 76, agricultural lien to get to the credit report. So the agricultural lien is how you lien a corpse, and it goes directly on their credit, on their business credit reports. And they're Duns and Bradstreet, because Duns and Bradstreet shows all the liens for the UCC. Now, so it's an agricultural lien on the UCC, and it's reported. You have to check the box, public finance transaction. That is how it reaches the Duns and Brad to lean the corpse's money up to stop them from what they're doing to you. So, all the nurses right now that are out there marching, trying to get a higher pay wage, all they got to do is drop a Form 56 on the person in charge to get them removed, and then they UCC and lean up the company. That is how you get people out of a job position, and you don't have to be on the street marching, because marching and protesting is not the way or the route. You use a Form 56 and a UCC lien against those who are not giving you a higher pay raise and who are robbing you blind. Okay, number 20, number 77, organization, individual on a UCC public record. You have to create the record. So, if it's not collateral, then it's the UCC state lien. If it is houses or mortgage or something like that, then it goes down to the county UCC, and that's a $40 charge. So, number 78, true credit report is a UCC lien. A true credit report is a UCC lien. Number 79. Number 78. SSN is what they use to go into your estate. So if you've done anything under your SSN number, then you know that it's the estate, it's the enlegus birth certificate number. So that means that you would have to file under that number to get all your credits back, because that is the SSN number that is holding all the money in another account. So you have to use the SSN number on all your 1099s. You can do a sole proprietor tax return based on the SSN, because the SSN is a sole proprietor, or and you have to do a 1040, and it will be a whole bunch of other forms that you will have to do. Number 78. The true credit report, like we said, is a UCC lien. That was number 80. We up to number 81. So the UCC3 is how you remove a lien. So once they pay you, then you could remove the lien. But if they don't pay you, then you don't do a UCC3. You wait till you get paid. The number 82, CUSIF number, it identifies the corporation. The CUSIF number doesn't identify you. The CUSIF number identifies the corporation. 23, 1099B, use your SSN or your account number. When in question, the CUSIF number is always your SSN number on the 1099B if you don't have a CUSIF number for it. So, number 84, wait for the corporation to respond, then file a 1041 taxes. Number 85, a $13 million credit with 1041 trust or estate is how they are operating. No 1040 tax returns. No, if you are using a trust. And that's what you're based upon, that trust. That's how you live in. So, number 86, accepted for value equals tax bills. So, that's what that is. A citation violation would would and a citation violation, you would say accepted for value on tax bills and on citations for violation. Number 87, accepted for assignment. Accepted for value, in some cases, really, you're supposed to say accepted for assignment. 87, W-2, file on a 1041 or estate. You can file your W-2 elsewhere. It doesn't have to always be on a 1040. Number 89, and if you are a sole proprietor, you can file your W-2s on your sole proprietor, under your sole proprietor, because the sole proprietor is the SSN. If you have filled out any job applications with an SSN, you have the right to put it under your sole proprietor, because the SSN is the sole proprietor. Number 89, print bank statements out and take it into the IRS. So, you know, you may want to take everything that you're doing with the tax return into the IRS. Number 90, LexisNexis report. Number 91, tax evasion. Number 92, all companies is making you pay their taxes. So if you're an employee and they call you a statutory employee, then you're paying the company's taxes until you rebut that. And if you rebut it, you may lose your job. So you might have to think hard on that one. Um, Number 93, proper endorsement, back of check, make payable to the company. Turn coupon over and you pay to the order of whoever you're paying to. Who else out there? Peace to all my people. Number 94, zero out the accounts. You want your account zeroed out. You may want to have them mail your bills to you so that you can send in the coupon to pay the debt. Well, to tender the debt. Number 91, your P.O. box, lock box. You send the bills, you file the taxes, you recoup your credits back. That's the lock box from bank to bank. Number 97, lockbox funding from bank to bank. Statement sent to the P.O. box. The P.O. box is a bank. The post office is a bank. The court is a bank. Make number 98. Make coupon payable to the corporation. Bill of exchange, letter of credit, paid to the order of on the back of the coupon. Number 99, you got to know what the instrument is called. So, if you're using a promissory note, that's an instrument. You know, so it's instruments like that. The 1099s are instruments. Everything that you're using is an instrument. The tax refund document 1040 is an instrument. 1041 is an instrument. All the IRS documents are instruments. Okay? So, number 100, P.O. Box is for use of bank to bank. Number 101, barter with every company. The 1099B is the barter. So you're bartering with every company. The B is how you barter with every company. 1099B. Read the directions and you will know how to fill it out. 102. So, you want to do your taxes every 90 days or every quarter. It because it lessens all the build up of the accounting that's at the end of the year. You don't want all that accounting. So, you know, you want to recoup. This is how you recoup quarterly. Um, Investors, number 103. Investors, a vendor equals customer. State is funding the account. Number 103, they put Instagram on the stock market for trading. We speak in code. 104, abandonment gifting to corporations when they go back to the IRS, asks for the money you did not claim or file taxes on. So you go back, you amend the record. So you're rebutting the tax record to recoup whatever it is that you are trying to recoup, because everybody recoups something differently. So, number 105, trading on investment for your benefit. They're trading on your investment, the labor, and then you pay taxes into the system. It's investment. We're supposed to be receiving a dividend for that investment quarterly or every 30 days. You would have to research those benefits and look at your W 2 to see all the corporations that you are funding. You are supposed to get a dividend back for the funding of all those corporations. And if you file the 1099Bs and the OIDs or the 1099 series, that is how you will start to recoup, because now you have alerted the IRS, give them their 40% to go investigate it, because you have to pay. And if they steal your shit, you know, then you really know what fucking time it is. Straight up, you know that, you can't even say crooked. It's the fact that the way Trump is moving, nobody can say anything about it, because this nigga got the army to do what he wants to do. Number 106, use the bill that comes in the mail. That is why you want to start to opt out of paperless and go back to getting the mail. Because paperless, they're stealing the coupon and recouping your money. That is why you have to get it mailed to you. So you're the executor and have it come in the name of your name of the executor, or your name of the trustee, or your name of the trust. 109. 109, my people, get off the paperless billing. 110, set up a trust in the bank when opening. Set the trust up. And when opening the trust, you have your security agreement with you when you sit down with the people at the bank, the broker, whoever you sit down with. 111, money to Wells Fargo, to Treasury, back to your account, then back. Then they take the money, because they are the custodian if you have not status corrected, and the beneficiary, the bank. The money goes to Wells Fargo Securities account and is held there in escrow until you wake up and become the executor trustee to take over the estate. So they are investing your money for you instead of, and they're not giving you the dividend because you don't know. And nobody ever told anybody. Only the few, the 1%, knew, because they set up their own treaty, their own constitution. So the constitution has been overturned right now by a lot of corporations. So, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? 112, age of majority. That's why banks are the custodian and takes the money because you could be 150, but if you have not put your age of majority on file either at the Library of Congress, in the Library of Congress, in the congressional records directly, or at your state level, then the banks will forever be your custodian and the beneficiary taking the money, your dividend that they're supposed to give back to you because the money is supposed to circulate. That is why it's called a central banking system, because the central banking system is the central nervous system. So if they fucking with your money, they fucking with your nerves. That right there is lethal and critical to the state of the being of the people right now. 113, tell bank how to benefit you. When you're fully status corrected, that's what you will do. 114, domicile. 115, take away the power, revoke it, revoke it. Revoke the corporation power, revoke it, revoke it. 116, what did, what did, okay, the corporation, why did they hire or why did you hire the corporation? Are you the boss? Are you protected by the trust? You know, are they taking advantage because you didn't know? You see, these are vital questions that people do not figure out. 117, state abandoned property rules. Go look it up in your state, your abandoned property. It's a lot of abandoned property. 118, make the corporation work for you. Number 119, we leaving tax money on the table because we are not playing the position. 120, go to the treasury and get your money. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. The gold is the money. The silver is the money. All the fucking precious metals are the money. Okay? That is how it's going to fuck down. These niggas with the fucking pipe. Okay, 122. We got all the power, my people, and we don't even know. You gotta read the rules to the game. What is the rules to the game? The IRM manual, the Treasury Direct website, the Federal Reserve website. You know what I'm saying? That is just a few. You got your circuit court website, you got the probate website, you got the Supreme Court website, you got congressional records, you got ancient ass books, and you have your inner self to tell you what the fuck is going down. That's what you got. So, um, where we at, my people? 123, 1099B. Instructions. Read the instructions to that 1099B. Understand it. Then when you understand it, then you can execute it how you supposed to execute a 1099B, my people. 124, bill receivable, bill payable, accepted for value received, bill accepted for value, y'all, received all revocable, received bill receivable, received bill receivable, bill payable. So you have to accept it for value, and then it's received. It's a received bill receivable. So you received a bill, it was receivable, and then you're going to make the bill payable. So that is a little bit of wording that you may want to use as a tip. 125, electronic funds transfer agreement. They got to give it to you immediately. So you want to go read that, the electronic funds transfer. 126, payment, coupon, statement, coupon. We speak in code right here. Check it. 127, utility bills paid immediately. Utility bills paid immediately, my nigga. 128, issuer, transfer agent. The issuer is the transfer agent. You can become the transfer agent by being the issuer within the IRS. So if you know how to become the issuer within the IRS, you have now become the transfer agent. So the transfer agent can be the executor, the transfer agent can be the trust, the transfer agent can be the general executor, the, the transfer agent can be your name that is status corrected, that's connected to all the accounts that you started the IRS in leakage with. Because everything starts from the social, the SSN. So if it starts from the SSN that is tied to the BC that is tied to the TD, Treasury Direct, and then it's tied into uh, a foreign party, Federal Reserve. So the Federal Reserve within the IRS system was the issuer, meaning they were the main transfer agent over everybody's account that has not status corrected all the way to the Supreme Court. Straight up. So I got the source on the issuer. 407 300 5377. Okay, I just dropped a jewel on you. The Cash App is $ capital R, lowercase UBIE, capital W, lowercase ILKIE. Donations are accepted. I'm dropping crazy jewels, giving you 179 tips on status correction because everything is status correction. The only thing that can rebut what they're saying about you on record is your on record claim of or for status correction. Straight up. Now, 129, Know how to operate and use them instead of going to the SCC and joining. If you're the issuer, then why would you want to go to the SCC and give the power away again? The issuer is the transfer agent. The transfer agent is a custodian. The custodian is the status corrected person. So, when the person is status corrected in the custodianship, in the conservatorship, and the guardianship, the issuer, you are now the full transfer agent to your estate. Straight the fuck up. Now, 130. Employee ID is the corporation, not you. So, if you have an employee ID, could be any ID for the corporation that you're working for, and then you have another corporate ID coming from the state, because the state is corporate of all types of businesses. So, the state got your shit too, as well as the county got your shit too. That is why you would have to take your status correction all the way to the Supreme Court. And this is what they're not telling people when they charge niggas $350 for a motherfucking class. Because the status correction works on certain levels. So it depends on how you status correct yourself, because everybody status corrects differently. So it's the status corrections where nobody fucking bothers you anymore. The only motherfuckers that bother you when you are fully status corrected, when is these motherfuckers that know that you're fully status corrected because it's coming from the IRS. They're going to call you constantly now, trying to get you to pick up the phone to fish for your information so that they can recontract you. Bottom line. So, number 31, number 131, stamps, in the mail. Contract orders, endorsement. The bill is not transferable. Book ledger. These are all key codes. You know what I'm saying? Number 132, accept bill receivable along with the payment. Accept bill receivable along with the payment. So if you have a bill receivable and that bill receivable is supposed to come with a payment. 133, they send in a positive payment, not a negative payment for a bill. Tax bill accepted for value. Payable to the U.S. Department of the Treasury. Number 134, due date, maturity date. So the due date on any bill that you receive with a coupon through the mail, you would have to hurry up and send it back within the window time of the instrument that was the receivable or payment or whatever it is that you have to pay off, mortgage bill, car note, whatever, credit cards. You have to send it back within that time frame. So you're going to have to go look and the back of the coupon or somewhere in your agreement of the time frame to send it back. But I would hurry the fuck up because the window closes quickly. Remember, they fucking with the mail. For real. Even the post office people are going through your mail. The mailing system, this shit is crazy. So, you know, the maturity date equals the due date on your bill. Okay. Number 135, due bill, due check. Look it up, y'all. Look up a due bill, look up a due check. 131, negotiable instruments make it negotiable. So you always want your instrument to be negotiable. Straight up. 132. Read the back of the bill. Always read the back of any document. Turn that bitch over because you want to see if you missed anything. So, the back, if it's clear, then it can be endorsed. Some of these coupons that they have been sending, when you turn the back of the coupon over, you can't write nothing on it because they done filled it up with all of this bullshit on the back. So, you know, what I see right now is that you will, by you writing whatever you write on top of whatever they wrote, cancels out their contract, and what you write on top creates a new contract. Because that is the offer when you flip over the coupon in the back. If you read the offer, you can't accept that offer on the back of the coupon. You have to write your offer because it's negotiable. That's how they negotiated this back and forth. If you accept it, then it's your payment. But if you flip it over on the back and then you write over their agreement, you just write over that shit, the law, send it back to them within the window frame. If they accept it and you look back at your account and it's zeroed out, then it was accepted. Because you have to cancel out their contract for your contract to stand. Number 132. Oh, we said read the back of the bill. Number 133. On the back to make it payable. So you flip it over, and on the back is how you make it payable. So it's your new contract written right over their contract that cancels it out. If you write over anything, you're canceling out the old contract and you're saying this is the new contract. So if they accept it, great. If they don't, then they'll let you know and you still owe. So, this is some wild shit. It's a game. You're gonna have to play it if you're trying to even do what the fuck you're trying to do. Number 139, you have to set up your trust up to do the process. So you got to set your trust up to even do the process because it's from trust to trust, from business to business. That's why you have to have your corporation, business to business, LLC. LLC. I wouldn't do nothing. LLC. Sole proprietor is the way to be because you control everything as a sole proprietor. Corporation, that too, you control. Accounts are number 140. Accounts are already paid. file a 1099-B to start the audit. You know, you don't need a Bloomberg book. You don't need a Bloomberg, period, because the 1099-B is the Bloomberg. That is the forensics report. You're paying the IRS to do a 40%. You take 60, they take 40. Because that you're paying them to do the work that, you know, it's a lot of money for that work, because they already have the licenses to go into the SEC for the shakedown. The IRS already has the licenses to go in on anybody's finances and do a shakedown, because the businesses that we do business with are all have an EIN number. So if they have an EIN number, they have to have gone through the IRS. And the iris, you know what I'm saying, is the portal to the other side. IRIS. That is the portal. That is the entry point. So if you can get through that entry point, and if you need help, 407-300-5377. We can get you into the entry point. Straight up. Okay? And this is the United States private enterprise free state. In on the check on always. Number 141, trust accounts. To open, we talked about that, to open up a trust account already, my people. Starting at 250 to 3,000, up to 5,000 to open up a trust account. Okay? To put your memorandum on trust on file down at the county. That shit is, and starting at anywhere from 350 and up. Probate, to put your motherfucking bond on file, your executive bond on file. Straight up, that depends on how much your estate is going to be worth. And you're going to be paying anywhere over a certain amount for $50,000. Anything over 50,000, you're paying 1,000 something and up. So that's the realness of a real status correction, and some tips, my people. You know what I'm saying? Where we at? 142. So we talked about the P.O. box bills. They go to the bank, because the P.O. box is the bank. Post office. Post office. Box? What? You just bought a security in the post office. The PO is the box, which is a security box. It is a small portion of the bank, because a post office is a bank. So you bought a security within the post office bank, okay, which they get a dividend off of, because you have now invested stock within that post office. So you would have to do a Form 56 and a UCC. Straight up, because that is your bank. Okay? So the bank can be a trust. The bank can be your sole proprietor. Okay, the bank can be the executor, the general executor, trustee. You see what I'm saying? That's what the bank can be, my people. Number 143. Bank is the issuer. Okay. So, didn't we just drop you some jewels earlier? And we said about the issuer, Once you change that on the record, the transfer agent and the bank is the issuer. So your name, if it's your name there, your name has now, you are now John Doe transfer agent or transfer agent John Doe. That's what it sits and it looks like on the record within the system. So your sole proprietor now is the transfer agent and the bank. The sole proprietor. Remember, people, when you went in that certain little portal and it asks for the EIN number and it pops up all of these categories, whoever, whatever entity you chose for that category is now becomes the issuer. So the issuer is the transfer agent, the issuer is the bank. So the initial name that you use to set the account up with becomes the transfer agent on the record and the bank. Okay? Did we not bypass going to the superintendent? Because this is where they do it. They take the account, and that's how they, as the executor, as the trustee, as the general executor trustee, that was their role. It was all done right here. That is why nobody has ever gotten any money, big, out of that system. Because at this point, if you are not in the system and you have filled out the application online, this you could never ever do in front of anybody. That's why they did it online. And you would never ever have found out that where your money got hijacked at. It was in one little part of this portal is how they hijacked the money. So if you as the issuer, if you're not the issuer, then you're not the transfer agent and you are not the bank. So get with us 407 300 5377 and we can get you status corrected. Okay? Because that is part of real status correction. Real status correction is when you get your tender of payment. And your tender of payment starts as a transfer agent and a bank. And if you know how to connect, if you saw how everything connects as one, with the bank and the transfer agent, they are connected as one. Now, 144, endorsements are different. 145, file so you can properly recoup. And after listening to all of the recoupers and the very latest one, none of them niggas got paid. So I have nothing to say about that, but it's a lot of missing information within that group over there called recoupers. I mean, whoever leads the group, something, they're leaving a lot of information out, and I've talked to several people, you know, and I know firsthand. I'm not mentioning no motherfucking names because I don't get down like that. 146. Receivable, receivable, bill payment. Receivable, receivable, bill payment. So, my people, that was 146. So, when you say that to the corporations, when you're speaking to them and they know what you're talking about, when you say receivable, receivable, bill payment. Number 147, play the game. Monopoly, read the instructions. You know what I'm saying? The bank becomes the auctioneer, and I forgot. It's something else they become in Monopoly. 148, credit. File is LexisNexis. We talked about that. What is this? 150, early warning services report. Y'all need to get up on that early warning services report. Plug it in, look it up. Yo, we got that New York State equitable laws. That was 151, 152. Put it on a Schedule A, on a public record, on a memorandum of trust, down at the county clerk. Okay. So, you know, 153, creditor gives the money to you after the credit your account. So the creditor is going to give you the money after they credit it to your account. So they have to go and create and find some money because if they're in fucking bankruptcy, my people, how the fuck are they moving? Where are they getting the money from? They can only get the money as the transfer agent and the bank. That's where the money train stops. When it gets transferred, it goes to you and then back to them because they are the custodian and they're the bank and they're the transfer agent. So whoever the custodian is the transfer agent, is the bank, because all they got to do, they are the ones over your bread. Straight up. So, number 154, credit report. You must lean everybody on your credit report. 155, my people. Order your credit report on LexisNexis and early warning services. 156. The Secretary of State file a UCC lien on every rejected credit application in the name of the CFO for the collateral. My people, I'm about to hop off here. I'm up to 157. I'm going to have to come and start off there. Not today, but I dropped it. I gave you that info. This is the United States Private Enterprise Free State in on the check on 407 300 5377. Get down with the truth. My people, I am out.